Meet the newest car brand to arrive in Australian showrooms. Cupra is the offshoot of Spanish badge SEAT, which has been owned by German giant Volkswagen since the 1980s. There are 3 new models coming this year, with more to follow in 2023. Let's check them out. Australia's new car market is about to get a little more crowded, and buyers will soon have more choice. The Spanish Cupra brand, owned by German car giant Volkswagen, is ramping up ahead of Australian showroom arrivals from the middle of this year. The Cupra name was previously given to high-performance SEAT models in Europe. But 4 years ago, the company decided to split Cupra into a standalone badge. If Skoda cars are like Volkswagens but with a bit more space and a few eccentric features, Cupra cars are like Volkswagens but with a bit more power and subtle hints of Lamborghini styling cues. The 3 models leading the charge locally are the Cupra Leon Hot Hatch, which shares its underpinning with the Volkswagen Golf, the Cupra Ateca small SUV, which shares its underpinnings with the Skoda Karoq, and the Cupra Formentor midsize SUV, which Cupra says is a standalone model not currently shared with other cars in the Volkswagen Group. In a major coup likely to be celebrated inside Cupra headquarters, the fully electric Cupra Born is due in Australia early next year, well ahead of the Volkswagen ID electric hatch on which it's based. We got to preview the 3 petrol-powered models that will launch the Cupra brand locally. The Cupra Born electric hot hatch was off limits until closer to its showroom arrival. Our test drive was limited to a racetrack because the 3 models were from overseas and weren't certified for local roads. So while we don't yet know how these cars handle the bumps and roundabouts of the daily grind, it was a taste of what's to come. First up, the Cupra Leon VZX Hot Hatch. It's powered by a turbocharged 2-litre 4-cylinder petrol engine with Volkswagen Golf R outputs. But there's a big difference. All that power goes to the front wheels only, rather than via an all-wheel drive system as on the Volkswagen Golf R. It's priced from $64,990 drive away and promises a 0 to 100 time of about 5.7 seconds. On the track, it felt lively and had plenty of grip. The brakes could also cop a punishment. There were subtle hints of Lamborghini in the shape of the air vents, the faux carbon fibre pattern on the steering wheel airbag cover, and the creased design language on the bodywork. Next up, the Cupra Formentor VZX Hot SUV. Powered by the same turbocharged 2-litre petrol engine as the Leon VZX, but with a few extra kilowatts, all-wheel drive, and in a bigger, heavier body. As you might expect, the Cupra Formentor does not have quite the same sharp reflexes as the sleeker and lighter Neon, but it still has plenty of power and performance. It's fair to say most SUV buyers won't be putting a Cupra Formentor through its paces on a racetrack, but it was our first foray into the car. Cupra says the Formentor has received the most interest of all models in the launch range. Finally, we got to test what on the surface appears to be the most subdued model in the lineup, the Cupra Ateca. Its appearance is deceiving. This is one quick car. While there are 4 model grades in each of the Cupra Leon and Cupra Formentor lineups, there is just one variant of the Cupra Ateca. It's powered by a turbocharged 2-litre petrol engine paired to all-wheel drive, and as with the others gathered here, a 7-speed twin-clutch auto. The Cupra Ateca was the surprise packet of the trio. Compared to the others, it felt perky and nimble, even though it's the oldest among the cars here. It's similar in size to a Skoda Karoq, but with a heap more power and poise. Cupra also confirmed the Cupra Born electric hot hatch is coming to Australia. Although there are a handful of prototypes doing testing, we are yet to sample this model locally. Production of the Cupra Born for Australia is due to start late this year, ahead of showroom arrivals early next year. Price is yet to be announced, but Cupra says it hopes to position the Born in a similar price range to other hot hatches. While we look forward to test driving the Cupra Born, we've kept our driving impressions on the 3 launch vehicles brief for now, given it was a track test rather than on real roads. Nevertheless, the early signs are good and the ingredients are there. Drive will do a more thorough test of the initial Cupra lineup closer to local showroom arrivals. To find out more, go to drive.com.au to read the full review.